You'd think quiet suburbs mean peace, but I've learned that silence can hide the loudest kind of chaos, the kind that creeps between hedges, peers through blinds, and whispers across digital threads. My name is Elena Ward, and I live on Maple Crescent, a picture-perfect neighborhood with manicured lawns, color-coordinated mailboxes, and secrets that bloom like weeds under perfect sunlight. And for nearly a year, one woman made it her hobby, no, her mission, to make me her entertainment. Her name was Marjorie Kettleman, 62, widow, retired schoolteacher, always wearing that same lavender cardigan and a smile that never reached her eyes. To newcomers, she was sweet old Mrs. Kettleman from number 4. To those of us who'd lived here long enough, she was the neighborhood's self-appointed surveillance system. She didn't own a Ring doorbell, she won. It started the way these things always do, small, almost innocent. I'd see her standing at her window when I came home from work, curtain twitching slightly. If I took out the trash, her front door would creak open, just a sliver, enough to confirm it was me. Once, she waved. I waved back. But even from across the street, I could feel it. Her gaze wasn't neighborly, it was hungry. When I moved into Maple Crescent, I was 31, newly divorced, freelance graphic designer, trying to start over. I'd rented the pale blue cottage with the wraparound porch, the one that looked like it belonged in a Hallmark movie. It was supposed to be a fresh start, space to breathe, think, heal. But in a place where everyone's curtains match their fences, I might as well have been a UFO landing. Single woman, working odd hours, occasional visitors. That was all it took. The rumors started quietly. One afternoon, my neighbor Gina came over with banana bread. That's suburban code for I have gossip. Elena, she said carefully, lowering her voice, I just wanted you to know that Marjorie's been talking. Talking about what? Oh, you know, she just worries about you. Says she's seen men coming and going. I laughed. My clients come by sometimes. I'm a designer, not a call girl. Gina's face flushed. Of course. I told her that, but you know how she is. Yes, I was starting to. That night, I stood by my window, looking across the street. Her living room light was on, dim, golden, and there she was, curtain slightly parted, watching. I lifted my phone and took a picture. The flash lit the street for a split second. Her curtain snapped shut. After that, the tension grew teeth. Packages left on my porch disappeared, only to reappear days later, opened and resealed. Trash cans mysteriously overturned. My mailbox filled with anonymous notes. Women like you attract trouble. We see you. I knew exactly who we was. When I mentioned it to the Homeowners Association president, Harold Benson, he sighed. Marjorie means well, he said. She's just protective of the neighborhood. Protective, I repeated. She's stalking me. He frowned. Look, Elena, Maple Crescent's an old community. People talk. The best way to handle it is to ignore her. Don't give her a reason. Right, because privacy was something you earned here, not something you were entitled to. But then it got worse. One Thursday night, I hosted a client meeting, 2 people, both male, discussing a campaign launch. We stayed until midnight, laptops open, wine half finished. The next morning, a post appeared in our community group chat. Marjorie K., 6:14 a.m. Strange activity at number 7 last night. 3 men leaving after midnight. Unfamiliar cars. We all want Maple Crescent to stay safe. Within minutes, the thread exploded. Polite concern. Thinly veiled judgment. Someone even wrote, maybe she's running an Airbnb. By noon, half the street had seen it. I didn't reply, not there. But inside, something settled. Not rage, exactly, just an understanding. Some people can't be reasoned with. They need to see themselves the way they make others feel. And I knew just how to show her. I installed a small, discreet security camera above my porch, motion activated, high resolution. Not to catch her doing something, but to prove what I already knew. Because Marjorie wasn't just spreading rumors, she was documenting her obsession. The footage didn't take long to appear. Day 1, she stood behind her hedge, pretending to water plants, phone angled toward my porch. Day 2, she crouched by her mailbox as my delivery arrived, snapping photos. Day 3, she actually crossed my driveway to peek through my front window, hands cupped to the glass like a child at a zoo. Each clip made my stomach twist, not with fear, but disbelief. She wasn't hiding. She believed she had the right. For days, I watched the recordings, compiling them quietly. No confrontation, no warning. Because revenge, real revenge, isn't a scream. It's a reveal. It was the night of the summer block party when everything aligned. Marjorie loved those events. She'd bake her signature lemon bars, wear her floral apron, and flit from table to table collecting stories like they were currency. The whole neighborhood would be there. And more importantly, so would the community group chat projector, looping photos and announcements on the big outdoor screen. I didn't plan it to be cruel, just honest. And sometimes, honesty burns brighter than vengeance. I waited until the evening was in full swing. Laughter, music, fairy lights strung between maple trees. The screen behind the dessert table glowed, showing neighborhood updates, garage sale flyers, lost pets, bake sale winners. Then I opened my phone, scrolled to the group chat, typed, "For anyone curious about who's been keeping Maple Crescent safe, here's the footage. Smile for your audience." Attached 3 clips, timestamped, clear as daylight. Hit send. The effect was instantaneous. The projector screen blinked, then played. First clip, Marjorie behind her hedge snapping photos. Second, her leaning over my window. Third, the zoomed-in shot of her phone's reflection, my house perfectly centered. A murmur rippled through the crowd. Then silence. All eyes turned toward her. She froze, lemon bar mid-air, face draining of color. "Turn that off," she snapped, voice shaking. No one moved. Gina whispered, "Oh my God." Harold took off his glasses, stunned. I stood near the drinks table, calm, arms folded. Marjorie looked at me, fury and fear twisting together. You violated my privacy." I tilted my head. Did I? Or did I just record you violating mine? The moment stretched, electric, suspended in collective shock. Then Harold cleared his throat. "Marjorie, maybe. We should." She stormed off, apron fluttering, leaving behind her tray of untouched lemon bars. No one followed. The screen flickered back to its slideshow. Laughter returned, hesitant at first, then real. And just like that, the neighborhood spy vanished from her own narrative. The next morning, her house was dark, curtains drawn. By the end of the week, a for sale sign stood in her yard. No one asked what happened. No one needed to. People finally saw what I'd been living with. Not paranoia, but surveillance disguised as concern. And once you've seen the truth, you can't unsee it. A month later, I received an envelope. No return address. Inside, a single photo. It was me, standing on my porch, smiling into my phone. Underneath, scribbled in shaky handwriting, "You win." I looked at it for a long moment, then fed it into the shredder. Because winning wasn't the point. Peace was. Now, Maple Crescent feels quieter. Not in the suffocating way it used to, but in the kind that finally lets you breathe. Neighbors wave. Gina drops by without banana bread. Harold installed privacy bylaws for the association, for everyone's peace of mind. Funny how people only value privacy after they've seen it stripped away. Sometimes, late at night, I stand by my window and look across the street where Marjorie used to live. The house is empty, shutters closed, lawn slightly overgrown. It's strange. Even in her absence, the air feels lighter. Maybe because I know that now, if anyone ever tries to turn me into their story again, I own the camera, I own the frame, and I own the truth. A few weeks ago, a new family moved into number 4, a young couple with 2 kids and a golden retriever. On their first day, the wife waved at me from her porch. "Hi, we're the Millers. Marjorie said you were lovely." I smiled. "She said that?" She left a note in the mailbox. "Elena Ward, respectful, quiet, keeps to herself." For a moment, I didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Maybe in her own twisted way, Marjorie finally understood me. Or maybe she just needed an ending too. I like to think about that sometimes, how stories spin in small spaces, how one person's curiosity can become another's cage. But I've learned something vital. The moment you stop hiding, the watchers lose power. Because people like Marjorie thrive on control, and nothing terrifies them more than being seen. These days, I still keep my camera on, not because I'm afraid, but because it reminds me I have a choice. To document, to define, to defend my peace. And if anyone ever wonders why, I'd tell them this: every neighborhood has a spy. I just made sure mine got caught in her own lens.
You've just stepped into her revenge side, where every wound finds its justice, and every silence ends with truth. If her story struck a chord, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Your support keeps these stories alive. Another secret waits in the next video. See how her revenge begins.